All right, guys, we'll get started here in just a second. Reminder, please use the raise hand function when you'd like to ask a question and to keep your line muted unless called upon to ask a question. Our first question comes from John Werner with the Waco Tribune-Herald.
Hey, John, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, good. Anyway, how did it feel to finally get on the field? And also, what did you think of Treston's performance?
Just getting on the field, you know, like we've been looking forward. It felt like we was in camp for years. Like we've been trying to play football against a different team forever now. So that felt really good. And just seeing Treston go out there and perform the way he did, you know, that's always fun to watch too.
Next question comes from Matt Roberts with KWKT TV in Waco.
Hey, John, just curious for you in Coach Aranda's first game, how good did it feel to get off on the right foot and get that win for him and now move forward?
That felt really good. You know, Coach Aranda took a big step being the head coach for the first time in his life. And he's been there every step of the way with our team. So that felt really good for us to get that first win under his belt.
Hang on one second, guys. Next question comes from David Smoke with Sikkim 365 Radio.
John, how much do you guys feed off of each other as the running backs? You've been around each other now a long time, and how much did you feed off of Treston, you think, and vice versa? And what does it mean when you see him have that kind of game?
You know, every day at practice, me and Treston compete along with the other running backs too. You see, he makes a big play, I make a big play. Squirrel makes a big play. So, you know, it's like a domino effect. Every day we come into work and we give it our all. So that's what we expect every week.
Next question's from Bryce Cherry with the Waco Tribune-Herald.
John, just how excited were you guys to get out there and play and, play the way you did as well?
Like I said, that was really good, you know, just watching my guys go out there and fly around. We put in so much work for this game, and it finally paid off. So, like we said, September 26th, that was the day everything comes true.
Next question's from Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider.
John, talk about what you guys were able to do in the second half. Y'all shot yourself in the foot a little bit in the first half, I believe 95 yards in penalties, and I believe none in the second half. How big was that to kind of stop doing that?
That was really big. It was huge, actually. We just had to settle down, you know, our first game. You come in halftime, make some adjustments, and like you said, no penalty second half, and we did what we had to do.
Next question from Matt Roberts, KWKT TV in Waco.
John, I'm just curious, did you notice the crowd at all? Obviously a reduced capacity. Did you notice anything about the atmosphere with a little bit of a different setup?
Baylor atmosphere, they brung it today. So, you know, it still felt like a regular game. So that's a blessing to have these loyal fans behind us and come out here and still support us during this pandemic.
Next question from Andrew Miner.
Hey, John, as running backs, it's really important that you pick up Charlie and the team. Can you take me through that one play where Charlie fumbled the ball and you scooped it up?
Yeah, that play was kind of weird for me. I saw one of my teammates and a defender running at me at the same time, so I didn't know the ball was on the ground. And then we were taught to run to the ball every play, everyone. So, you know, training just comes. We fall back on our training. The ball ended up in my hands, and I tried to make something happen.
Next question from David Smoke with Sikkim 365.
John, this is your fourth year. You guys are known for being mentally tough for all of what you've been through. How much did you and the senior leadership carry the last few weeks or even months to get to this point tonight to get a game done, win, and move on?
Like I said before, I felt like we was in camp forever, so we just been grinding. You know, there's nothing we can do about this pandemic, so we just been grinding, pushing each other every day, every week. So it actually came to light today, and it was fun doing it.
Any additional questions for John Lovett, please use the raise hand function. If not, we'll let him go. All right, John, thanks for your time.
Appreciate you.
Next up, we have Terrell Bernard. Please use the raise hand function, and a reminder to keep your line muted when you're not asking a question. First question from John Werner with the Waco Tribune-Herald.
Terrell, they scored on the first drive, but after that, you pretty much shut them down. What happened after that drive that y'all were so dominant?
Yeah, really, we came out to the sideline. We made some adjustments, and it was really just communication from the sideline to the field, and then from some of the backers to the D line, and then backers to the safeties and stuff like that. So really, it was just working on our communication. I think everybody was a little rusty getting out there. They kind of went in some different personnels that we weren't ready for, and they went a little bit of tempo on us. But I think after that, we kind of settled in and got to playing.
And what happened for you on that safety? What'd you see on that play?
Yeah, so we were running a boundary backer blitz through the B gap or towards the tight end, and they had just ran the down play, which is it's just zone with the tight end blocking and handed off to the running back. So they lined up in the same formations. We knew it was either going to be that play or they're going to go RPO or play action, take a shot, and they actually went max pro play action, and I think the running back tried to cut me or whatever. So that's pretty much what happened.
Okay, thank you.
So.
Next question from Matt Roberts with KWKT TV in Waco.
Yeah, Terrell, you guys were able to create a lot of negative plays. I think you had 10 tackles for loss today. How vital is that going to be for this defense?
Yeah, that's huge. That's a huge part. I think that's something that we had talked about in the summer and during fall camp was our ability to create or force negative plays and kind of stall out the offense. I don't know. I think the percentage is like the offense only scores 20% of the time when you have some type of TFL or sack. So that's a big thing for us. Turnovers and negative plays. So.
Next question from Matt Mosley with ESPN Radio, Central Texas.
How emotional, Terrell, was Coach Aranda during the game? It seemed like early, maybe after they scored, he got after you guys, but he kept doing that throughout, even later in the game. What kind of emotion did he bring to you guys throughout the game?
Yeah, I think it was all positive energy. We came out to the sideline after we got scored on. He kind of just told us, settle down, lock in, get ready. You know what I mean? It's the first drive of the game. So that was kind of what he told us at the beginning. And then throughout the game, he was just telling us, keep going, keep your foot on the gas, keep going, don't let up. And I think that's pretty much what we did till a little bit later on in the game.
Did it feel like they cut you guys loose a little more than in the past? I mean, obviously there was it seemed like some blitzing and a lot of movement and disguise and everything. Did it feel like more than what you've been used to in the past?
Yes, sir, definitely. I think with this scheme that we're in right now, we're pressuring a lot more. We have the freedom to kind of add on and really try to get to the backfield and make those negative plays. So I think what Coach Roberts is doing is allowing us to play like that.
Next question from Bryce Cherry with the Waco Tribune Herald.
Terrell, what do you feel like the best thing y'all did today was, especially defensively? And then, what do you feel like, just without having seen the film yet, is the thing y'all will need to work on the most?
Yeah, I think coming off the first drive, the best thing we did definitely was coming off after that, kind of regrouping, fighting through a little adversity at the beginning. You don't really know what's going on. Everything's kind of spinning. So just kind of regrouping there, getting ready to go back out, and then playing well the rest of the game. And then probably the biggest thing that we can work on now, going in, just making sure we're doing our assignments. I think we had a couple busts, which led to some big plays. So I think we fine-tune that. We fine-tune our effort and start creating more turnovers. That's a big staple in our defense. So I think once we start doing that, we'll be headed in the right track.
Next question comes from Andrew Miner with Bears Illustrated.
Hey, Terrell, kind of following up on Matt Mosley's question there with all the blitzes. How did you guys feed off of that all night, kind of creating your own momentum, your own energy with only a 25% crowd capacity?
Yeah, the crazy thing about that, it did not feel like it was 25%. Our crowd was loud the whole night, I feel like. But definitely, I think just wanting to be out there so bad, wanting to play so bad. When we did make a play, everybody was celebrating, everybody was having fun. So I think that was a really bright spot that we'll go back and look at the film and kind of see some of those things.
Next question from Kevin Lonnquist with SicEmSports.com.
Terrell, obviously Kansas's quarterback situation has been so up in the air. So when you guys were getting ready for them Did you get any kind of feeling that it was going to be Jalen? And if it wasn't, what did you guys feel like you had to do as far as like adjusting to him after that initial series?
Yeah, we really didn't know what was gonna happen. We prepared for both guys pretty much the same way. They actually ran a lot of Wildcat stuff, so we kind of had to go back and go over some of that stuff too. But I mean, we prepared for both of them the same way. The same thing with Puka. We knew what kind of guy he was. Real explosive and can break one at any time. So I think we prepared really well this past week, getting ready for all of them.
Final question for Terrell comes from Matt Roberts with KWKT TV in Waco.
Yeah, Terrell, I looked it up during the game. I think it's 1993 was the last time a full-time Baylor head coach won his debut. How good did that feel to get Coach Aranda that win in game number 1?
Yeah, it felt great. Just after the game, seeing how happy he was. He doesn't really show too much emotion, high or low. So seeing kind of how happy he was really a big thing. And then coming in the locker room, presenting him the game ball, just kind of taking it all in. We've been going for so long and without a game, so we just taking it all in and kind of realizing the moment and having fun with it. It was fun to see.
All right, thanks for your time, Terrell.
Thank you.
All right, we got Tristan Ebner at the podium. Please use the raise hand function if you'd like to ask a question, and a reminder to keep your line muted when you're not asking a question. First question comes from John Werner with the Waco Tribune-Herald.
Tristan, was that worth the wait for you, scoring 4 touchdowns?
Yes, sir. We had to wait a long time. We put in a lot of work, but I'm thankful for the outcome.
Is that pretty much the way you thought Coach Aranda would use you? He's been saying he's going to use you in a variety of ways. Is that pretty much the way it kind of played out?
Yes, sir. All camp, they tried to give me the ball in multiple different ways, so I'm just glad we could come out here and execute it.
Next question comes from David Smoke with Sigma 365.
Okay. Tristan, I'm sorry. The fact you guys had to wait, had all these delays, what was it like to just get a game in, go through the moment, and then kind of have an explosive game, not just with you, but eventually separate and win?
It was great. You could tell all the practice that we had. Guys were just ready to play, and we were ready to hit someone else. So, I knew we would be ready for the moment, and we started a little slow, but I'm thankful for how we finished. Guys picked it up, and we ultimately dominated the game.
Next question from Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider.
I'm sorry.
We'll come back to you, David. Next question from Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider.
Tristan, can you talk about the way that the kick returns opened up? Particularly that first one looked like they had you kind of bottled up and you got outside, but looked like the second one just kind of was there from the beginning.
The first one, the dude played it too tight and I made a cut, and Jonathan Lovett hustled his tail off and helped me with my lead block, and I was able to get around the edge and score. So, I'm just thankful for all my blockers in the effort.
Next question from Matt Roberts with KWKT TV in Waco.
Yeah, Tristan, I guess, from a historical perspective, you're the first Baylor player to return 2 kicks in the same game for a touchdown. Of all the great players that have been through here, what does that mean to you?
I'm thankful for the opportunity. I would have thought that Levi Norwood had done it before, first, So he's just a great player that I used to watch here. So I'm just thankful that I was able to, put my name down in Baylor history books and the record books. And I'm just thankful for the chance to get out here and play with these great guys.
All right, returning back to David Smoke with Sigma 365.
Tristan, the first touchdown on the kick return was 100 yards. The second one was about 60 plus whatever. But how did you know when you turned the corner you could outrun everybody who had an angle on you? And did you ever play this well in a single game at Henderson High School?
Yeah, the guy squeezed in. I was supposed to go to the left side, but he played it too tight, so I just went around the edge and I trusted my speed. And actually, I had one good game like this against I want to say, I forgot who it was, but had 5 touchdowns in the first half. So a punt return and an interception and a receiving touchdown. And so this isn't my first big game. It's my first big game in college, and I'm thankful for the opportunity.
Next question from Matt Mosley with ESPN Radio, Central Texas.
Were you a little shocked that they did kick it to you that second time after you'd had the 100-yard touchdown? I mean, I know I was a little shocked.
Yeah, I was shocked, but you want to capitalize on their mistakes. So I'm thankful that they did, and I'm thankful that I picked up the blocks that I did. But I was shocked, yes, sir.
Next question from Andrew Miner with Bears Illustrated.
Hey, how important is it for you and the rest of the running back groups to continue to set the tone in each game moving forward as the season progresses to really open up things for the rest of the team?
As soon as we got back, we said that the running backs were the vocal point of the offense, and we knew that it would run through us. So I think it's important, and I think all the guys know that. And we take that. We just proud that we can be that for the offense, and I'm just glad how all the guys executed today.
Next question from Jack Allen with KXXV TV in Waco.
Preston, what was Coach's message to you guys at halftime, and how important was it for you to be able to make that statement coming so soon after the break?
His message, he stayed positive the whole time. He told us that the players were there. We just had to stop being ourselves, and we did that, thank God. And I feel like it was big, just to provide a spark for the team, and the guys, it got guys going. So I'm thankful that I was able to do that.
Next question from Matt Roberts with KWKT TV in Waco.
Yeah, the first kick return seemed a little bit like the SFA game last year where you kind of reverse field. When you're returning a kick, how much different is that from running back, and how do you decide when you maybe want to bounce it out or when you just kind of have to go with the blocks?
It's when you return a kick, they just tell you one cut and get downhill, kind of similar to running back. But I felt the guy kind of missed his block, and I was able to make a cut off that. And so once I did that, it's kind of like just play football, and it opens up and you just run and try to get to green grass.
Any final questions? All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right. Just a reminder, please use the raise hand function when you'd like to ask a question and to keep your line muted when not asking a question. First question for Coach Aranda comes from John Werner with the Waco Tribune-Herald.
Dave, you had to wait a few weeks to finally play. Did that go about as well as you could have imagined?
Well, awfully blessed to have this opportunity. I'd be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity just to thank everybody that went into us playing this game. I look at all the work that it takes to put a game on, and particularly with us, right? There's times that we had games, and then all of a sudden the games went away or were postponed and that, and so to have a week where I know there's a lot of question: are we going to play? Is this really happening? And then to go through it, it's just such a cool experience. I was just there talking with my wife and my kids, and they were talking about how much fun they had and the experience they had, and so I'm awfully appreciative of that. And I think just the opportunity to be with our team, it gets to a point where you can talk too much, I feel, and even for me, I've found a way, I guess, to kind of do that. And so the opportunity to go out and just do it and play and be a team on the grass and face adversity and respond the right way. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of how we played that second half.
Dave, you had to make a bunch of changes in your O-line, didn't have a whole lot of depth tonight. How'd you feel like they did?
I thought in the first half they fought. I thought there was there was some slanting going on with their front, a lot of perimeter runs, and it was a great design by DJ Elliott over there. And I thought we adjusted correctly and started running inside, and I think we had some 5-step drops that we were kind of fighting back and forth to keep a clean pocket. And there was some penalties that were called up front, all that were, intermixed in that fight. And to come back in the second half and address a lot of those things and, put two really good quarters of play together, man, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of just how they responded. And, we talked about how character is going to come through in this game. And, we were able to see that, and I knew we would. So I'm proud of how the O-line played.
Thank you.
Next question from Bryce Cherry with the Waco Tribune-Herald.
Yeah, Dave, as far as just the way y'all played today, what did you most learn about your team that you didn't already know, or that maybe you hoped to see but weren't completely sure of?
I don't really know if there was. I think the thing that came to me was just fighting through adversity the right way, just on the grass. I think usually you learn about your team on the grass, and you're practicing, you're playing. There's adversity. You talk about it, and I'm almost say this in football terms. There is a discussion we're having as a staff this week about talking about, hey, if there is adversity, and we were in the discussion, it just sounded very almost from a football perspective, and we've just spent so much time talking about adversity just from a person perspective, just as people, whether it's quarantine or it's racial issues or whether it's what it feels like to be isolated for however many days or quarantined for however many days. So there's been adversity all around us, having games postponed. And so those skills can be applied to football, and it's really, I think that's the right order of all of it. And so, was really feeling strong that was going to shine through today, and I feel that it did.
Next question from David Smoke with Sikkim 365.
Coach, Terrell Bernard said they gave you the game ball. What did that mean to you? And was tonight different for you at any other night as a football coach?
It means a lot. To be a part of the team, I just feel like I belong here. I feel like I feel there's a really strong brotherhood here. There's people that care past the player or coach part to the person part, and so to be a part of that's special, But to take the field with our team and to see them fight through stuff, to see them create momentum and things that we talked about back in March and April and all over Zoom, to hear that kind of spitting back out at you in the third and fourth quarter was just so cool. And, it energizes me for the next one. And so, it was a good night, and I think, it's a start for sure.
Next question from Matt Mosley with ESPN Radio, Central Texas.
Did you take a moment, Dave, to drink it all in before that first kickoff and think about sort of the magnitude of what this all meant, or did you not really get to do that?
No, I appreciate the question, but I didn't. I think so much of it was, I think that part, per the previous question, I think that part was the different part. I think once you get to a game, you're kind of feeling the roller coaster of the game, the momentum, the schematic part. It gets to where kind of football's football. But prior to the game, typically I'd be kind of locked down, going over a call sheet. What if this happens? What if that happens? And I wasn't doing that, today. And so there was a lot of almost situational, if it's 2 minute, or if this happens, or if it's a 4 minute spot, or it's a fourth down situation, just things that we had worked on really try to spend time with that. But, you know, that part was different because those are things that I'd always be aware of, but not necessarily attack. And so the getting ready for a game was much different. But once we get to a game, you know, I think you're feeling your team, and you're anticipating situations, and football's football.
Didn't feel weird to not be calling plays after you've done it for so long?
No, I think you know, I've got so much respect for Ron, and I think, you know, there's a couple times first early where I'd be thinking this and he would call the same thing, and you get on the same page. And so there's a lot that I've learned from Ron. You know, I think you know, he's a mentor of mine, and so just being able to be in a position to do that, I think we're all going to be better for it.
Next question comes from Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider.
Dave, I'm sure you've seen Tristan do some special things in practice, but how special was that night, and is that what you expect from him?
Well, you know, when we watch him in practice, man, it's explosive. You think of a team player. You think of somebody that provides energy and juice to our team, toughness to our team, and those are all things that shown up in those returns. You know, just to hit those holes and those seams the way he did is really what set those up, and to have the finishing speed to close it off. Those are things that, you know, I had seen on tape, but to see it out on the grass is it was pretty cool to see. It for sure propelled our team and took us to another stage of all of it. And the emotion on our sideline was pretty strong after both of those.
Y'all had 95 yards on 8 penalties in the first half, 0 in the second half. How big was that?
Yeah, it's strong. I think that's probably my biggest takeaway from this one. You know, just seeing those things. Yeah, I immediately look at myself, and, you know, in years past, you know, we would have refs at practice and this and that, and, you know, there's a struggle with all of that now, just the way things are kind of lined up. But you know, to see guys fight through that adversity, right, and kind of take ownership of stuff, and to you know, not pass the buck, and not, why was this called, or what, it was none of that. It was like, Coach, I got you, you know. And so to kind of be challenged and then rise to the challenge, that's what it's, you know, that's what it's about.
Next question from Matt Roberts from KWKT TV in Waco.
Hey, Coach, so much lead up to this, so much build up to this game, but now you turn around, you got another one next week. So how long do you celebrate the moment, kind of soak the moment in before you immediately turn your attention to West Virginia next week?
Yeah, not very long. Not very long, man. Yeah, so it'll be nice to kind of relax a little bit tonight, but it's quick tomorrow. And you know, I'm looking forward to that part of it, and I know our guys are too. I think to just be in a routine where there's football, and to kind of speak this language and be together, and to do the things that we do, I mean, we're all for that. And so we need some more of that. And so I'm thankful that it's coming our way.
Next question from Jack Allen, KXXV TV in Waco.
Dave, how encouraging was it for you to see your guys find ways to make an impact on all 3 phases of the ball in this game?
It was really good. I mean, that's how I see us, you know, and that's how we've practiced. We've talked an awful lot about how we're going to play the way we practice, and we emphasize special teams. You know, Matt Powers does a great job with it. I think he's a great young up and coming coach, and energy and knowledge and care factor. You know, the guys love him and want to play hard for him. Got a lot of respect for him. Really impressed with that side of it. And then offensively, you know, we really had to work. You know, Larry and his crew had to find seams, had to find grass in there to run to, had to find angles, and they're, you know, the talk between series, between plays was pretty fast-paced, intense. Those guys were working, and to see that carry over on the field is impressive. And it just shows the connection between the players and the coaches. And defensively, you know, starting the way we started and being able to get into a rhythm. And I think there's a fair amount of 3 and out, so impressed all sides of it.
Next question from Kevin Longquist with SicEmSports.com.
Dave, so much has been made about your defensive front because it's so young and inexperienced. So what, on a first glance, what did you think of what you saw from that front, and what can you take moving forward into West Virginia and beyond?
I thought in the interior run, I thought there's a lot of good things. I thought there was disruption. I thought we had penetration on the other side of the line of scrimmage. I thought for the majority of the game, I thought there was good pass rush lanes. It wasn't until the end where we got the quarterback kind of scrambling around. I thought in terms of the different calls and, you know, slanting this way or twisting that way, I thought we were pretty on it. There wasn't a bunch of, you know, this guy going left and this other guy going right, and there's not a lot of that. And so impressed with all of it. I think, you know, the improvements can be containment on perimeter runs. I think we can get better there. And, you know, I think continue to develop depth. You know, we were able to get some guys in there late in the game, and we can probably play better in some spots. But we're looking forward to improve in that area.
Final question comes from Andrew Miner with Bears Illustrated.
Coach, I was wondering when Charlie Brewer went to the sideline, what were they checking him out for, and you know, that allowed him to come in back in so quickly?
You talking about Charlie?
Yes.
Yeah. So he got a bruise on his quad, and so he was struggling to kind of put pressure on his leg, and so he went out for a little bit, and really happy with how Gary played. I thought there's a lot of positive things with him. So happy just for his journey and his improvement. It was good to get him some snaps, and you know, Gary's a strong, really strong person, man. And so any type of challenge you give him, he eats that up. And so it's really cool to see. Our quarterback room is a special one. But to have Charlie come back and everything, I thought it was really strong of him. And you know, our guys love him, and they play so hard for him. And so it was a big uplifting moment there to get him back after him coming out. I know the guys were worried, but just to have a bruise on his thigh and to get that worked out was really what that was.
Okay.
All right, Coach. That's all we have. Thanks for your time.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys.